Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Harry Potter Wizards Unite. Today we are going to be looking at a gameplay breakdown. So this is looking at all the gameplay that Warner Brother provided us with and breaking it down bit by bit, because there's a lot of little features in there, little intricacies, things go very fast, like that whole little cutscene there. We're going to be breaking that down slowly and looking at what it means in relation to what we already know. Just a heads up, all this information, this footage is provided by Warner Brothers. I'm affiliated with them. What that also means is that any updates, any information will be coming through this channel very quick. So when it's released, I'll be putting that information out for you. So if you want to keep that up to date with when the game is actually released, how much closer we move to its release, so there is an actual magical exposure threat level clock. So currently it's set at level 2 moderate threat, but I reckon once it reaches severe unexplained activity, that is when the game will be released. So I'll help you keep an eye on that as we progress closer to the game's release. So let's start with this scene. Here we see a Foundable, which is a Dementor attacking Harry Potter in his Quidditch gear. Here we see an align feature where the phone currently is aligned to the left of it, and you need to move your phone so it syncs up with that alignment before you can then take it down and protect Harry. So if we turn to align, what will happen, it will overlap it. Once aligned, you then need to tap it. Very quickly, it's followed by that magical exposure threat level clock. So currently threat level is at high, and I think it stays at high at the max. Then you have to trace to cast Expecto Patronum. Before doing that though, this person accesses a potion. So the actual threat level of it was very high, we just didn't see that little bit as it nudged towards that. And we have a potion that can greatly improve the next cast in traces and challenges. And it looks like we have two types of potions, 213 of Potent Estimulo Potion. And duration of this is 3 attempted casts in this encounter, so it will last for 3 casts of Expecto Patronum, which is what you're going to be using against a Dementor. So once used, the threat level then changes to Emergency, and then we are able to cast. Now in Harry Potter Wizards Unite, casting is different to that of Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery. Hogwarts Mystery is a simple trace, and it doesn't matter how slow you go, doesn't matter, you can go really, really slow and trace it every single time easy. In this, it works differently. So tracing it, it does give us the outline of what we're aiming towards, which I'm slightly disappointed in. I was hoping that it wouldn't be given. I was hoping that it may just give you the beginning of it and then go to blank. And the reason for that is I think it just adds a little extra skill to it. You know, if you were actually a wizard in the wizarding world, you would need to remember these things. You wouldn't be Dementor, right, flashing up in front of you, this is how you cast Wingardium Leviosa. I don't know why you'd ever Wingardium Leviosa or Dementor. You're dead. So of course, what we need to do though is cast Expecto Patronum. In Wizards Unite, it is based on accuracy and speed. The two combine together to determine how efficient an attack is going to be. So here we can see that traced line indicating just how accurate it is. And after that, we see the bar above the top saying fair to good. So it wasn't perfect. Perhaps they didn't do it as fast enough to get excellent. So that's the equivalent of, you know, excellent versus good versus nice shot in Pokemon Go. That's the way they've, you know, determined which ones are going to be best. And I imagine it's going to work in the same way that if you get an excellent cast, that you're probably going to have an increased chance of successfully dealing with a Foundable. And there you see it, we're casting Expecto Patronum on this Dementor and saving Harry's life. With that, Harry Potter is able to get back up and see you later, mate. Good luck with Voldemort. This separating looks painful. Next up, we see footage of us battling a werewolf. So a little bit different to the gameplay that we see in, you know, when we're dealing with a Foundable. This is where we're actually having a battle. Now, in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that there is an energy bar. 42 out of 150 this person currently has. So here you can see we've got to aim our wand on that point, hold it, and then cast an offensive spell. After that, we have to defend ourselves from the werewolf, and maybe that's going to come random, so maybe it's going to be attack, then defend, or I'd like it to be a little bit more randomized, so let's see if we can get 2 of these. Yep, so we've got 2 attacks together, and you've got to kind of be on your toes of when you're going to have to defend and quickly strike that way, otherwise you get hit. Looks like defending yourself reduces the damage that you take, doesn't completely nullify it. Now if you pay attention to the bottom left corner, it's now on 40 out of 150, which means every time you cast a spell, that equates to 1 energy. So that's going to be how the energy system is working. Every time you cast a spell, 1 bit of energy gets taken away from the amount you have. So you're probably going to have to go around in. It's going to be interesting to see how much energy that we get from going to the inns, or the equivalent of Pokestops. We'll have to wait and see for that. But it doesn't look like you're going to need too much. So the health of this werewolf is 61, takes 20 damage. And obviously as you build your character up, the level, experience, build some of the attributes within your given class, you will be able to deliver more damage and probably take less damage when you get attacked. Next up, we have, if you're familiar with the Fantastic Beasts film, a Demiguise. It has the ability to turn invisible. An alert comes up below it saying a shackle confoundable has trapped a Demiguise. So I imagine these are going to be a different kind of encounter where you have to stand on a certain point around it. So it says to cast a spell, you have to return to your marker. Now, once standing on your marker, you have the ability to search and align those 2 points together, just as we saw before, and you will cast a spell. So points to whoever can come up with first in the comment section below, what spell would you need to cast to free the Demiguise from his confoundable shackle. Next up, we have a Death Eater. It says look out, alert, a Death Eater, and we have to do the whole search again. So searching for where we can align. Once aligned, we can then start our encounter. In the bottom left, just as a note, you have the running wizard, which I imagine is, end an encounter, and you have AR on or off, so it looks like you're going to have the option to turn it on or off, just like in Pokemon Go. So next it does a similar thing. We've got to hold it on a certain point and then cast our offensive spell and then defend ourselves again, just like what we saw before. The Death Eater is just the same as the werewolf in terms of damage it takes and how much damage it puts out when we protect. But I imagine this is very early gameplay of the people who tested it, and therefore we're not seeing the, level 21 type enemies who are probably much harder to defeat. Now, one of the things that we didn't mention yesterday was this. We did talk about classes, so you have the Aura, the Magizoologist, or the Professor, and we have what are the currency of books and scrolls or notepaper. So we have 1,035 books. And these are probably the points that you use to build up your stats in your class. So each class has an individual, stream of a route that it can take with different stat buffs. So they'll probably favor different things. One is a tank, one is probably better in attack, the other better in defense. So you can choose that. And also one feature that they have is that you can swap between classes. It seems to work a bit like Destiny if you've ever played that. So you can get 3 accounts. And basically you're playing with the same account and you can have 3 different types of class. And this gives you that ability to dip in and out of classes. So you can use one where, maybe you need a tank more than other ones. One that maybe where you need an attack buff. Some of them I imagine have buffs to the people that you're raiding with, or the equivalent of doing that. Some may have more benefits within actually dueling. So we'll find out a lot more about that in release. But what looks nice is that you can build your Aura class. And then maybe once you've completed that, you are then able to swap to your Professor class and start working on that. And also, as we can see in the bottom, it says more lessons coming soon. So it looks like they're planning to build along these pathways. I, for one, am going to be a Magizoologist. Again, in the comment section, let me know what you're going to be. Would you like to be a Professor or a Magizoologist? We were also given a little sneak peek at some of the other spells that we'll be casting. So here we're casting Ridiculous. So it looks like you're going to be casting appropriate spells towards the right things. If you got it before, the spell that you would need to cast against the Demiguise to protect it, to release it from the shackles, is Alohomora. And here we're casting Ridiculous to protect him against a Boggart, because if you're familiar with the films, you need the best way to deal with Boggart is to make it something funny, because laughter is the best way to defeat a Boggart. So I'm excited to see what other spells we're going to be casting in the game and how we're actually going to acquire those spells. Is it going to be something that we know from day one, or are we going to build as we get levels up? Are we going to acquire better spells, things that we can use for higher level things? And finally, I want to talk about this. Here we throw a boot, which becomes a Portkey. So I imagine we're going to be casting Portus, and a portal opens. So this is some really new technology that we haven't seen in AR games. You can actually find this. It's very easy to find online. If you go to YouTube, there are a bunch of people who, are even giving you tutorials of how to create AR portals. So here we see the technology being used on the YouTube site Ricardo Papada, who's demonstrating how They must have created this from scratch, I imagine. And here we see in a room, looking around, through this doorway is a portal to another realm, which is a football match. But, you know, even when you're looking behind it, it doesn't show any of the portal being on those parts. It is fully, you know, static, placed AR. And once you go through it, you then enter that portal, and everything you look around switches from being the room that you're in to wherever the portal will lead you. I'm really looking forward to using this technology. I think it's something that's really going to bring the AR to life. It's going to make it feel way more, you know, inclusive than what we've seen before. What I really love is this ability to look back through the portal and see what's on the other side as well. So that will be really weird because you'll be looking at, you know, wherever you are based, but you will be situated in another place. So that's a breakdown of all the different bits of gameplay. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, going slowly through it, because there's a lot of information to disseminate. If you have any other ideas of what you'd like to see in future content, be sure to let me know in the description below. I do a lot of speculation videos. Make sure to check out my playlist on Wizards Unite. There's loads of videos and prediction that I'd made about this game, which have actually come true. One of the main ones that I made was about potions and how they could bring them in with being able to go out in the real world, and actually find different ingredients and build them into make certain potions, and that has actually come true. Thank you, Niantic. I was really happy that you included that. Okay, well, that's all for this one. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please hit the like button and hit subscribe if you want to